Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Alien Bacon. Today we got a spicy one for you guys. The most disastrous amusement park accidents ever. One of these I actually live near, or at least my family lives right next to where it happened.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah. I found one that was from like the first roller coaster accident ever, all the way to like something that happened a few years ago.
Are all of these like in small time music parks, or are they in like, are some of these in Disney World or
some
Universal?
of them are like, there's not a Disney World one, but there's like, like Kings Island. There was a lot of disasters, but I found the ones that were most disastrous.
Whenever I go to an amusement park, usually it's my wife that's like super terrified of an accident happening. It never crosses my mind because I'm like, these things are running nonstop. Like if it's gonna happen when I'm on it, like that would just be the worst luck ever,
Yeah, the possibilities of that like is insane.
When you come across one of those awful videos on like Instagram or something of an accident happening, then you're like, okay, maybe I'm never going to one ever again.
Yeah, like the worst
like,
thing that ever happened for me is a ride just got stuck. I was more pissed off though, because I was like next up in line and then the ride got stuck whenever I was about to go. And I'm like, I waited for a fucking hour, which, dude, roller coaster lines, we got to fix that shit, man.
Yeah.
Roller coaster lines are ridiculous, bro.
It's insane. I think the worst thing that's ever happened to me was like there was something faulty happened on the ride. I think it was like in Disney World or something on the Seven Dwarfs ride. I don't know if you've ever been on that, but
no,
I think it's relatively new. This happened a couple of years ago. We were on the ride and like it just kind of stopped in the middle of it. Like the car we were riding just like stopped and we were like, what the fuck?
Oh,
like
God.
It was so weird. And then like all the music died down. It was like in a horror movie.
and the animatronics start coming after you or something.
Someone spoke over like a speaker or something. They were like, no, we have to do like emergency maintenance or something. And that was kind of scary. But yeah, I feel like in most big budget, I don't know if that's the right term, but like these like huge amusement parks that make a shit ton of money, nothing bad will ever happen on those, see, because they have so much.
You'll notice when it comes to these, every single one of these is just ridiculous negligence from like the people who work there, the maintenance people, like they didn't do all the safety yeah. So normally like 99% of the time, it's just because they didn't do their fucking job. Yeah.
That's what I would assume,
The Alton Towers was an amusement park in Staffordshire, England. I think the only way to pronounce it was to actually bring out the British accent. Staffordshire.
Staffordshire.
It is one of the most renowned in the UK, but it was also the site of a horrific incident on May 1984. The runaway mine train roller coaster, a relatively mild ride at the time, became the scene of one of the deadliest accidents in British amusement park history. On that fateful day, a mechanical failure led to the stoppage of one train on the track, and a second following train collided with it from behind.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. So like at full force. Jesus Christ, dude. How would that even, I don't even understand how that happened.
How does it stop one train and then the second one? Oh, it must have been like the car itself that.
Or maybe like a part of the track maybe had like an emergency brake or something. But the resulting crash led to the deaths of 3 passengers and injuries to 13 other people.
Good Lord. And there was probably a second there where they knew like the collision was going to happen. They're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, imagine the fear of like you're stuck, but then like at first you're like, oh, this sucks. But then you start hearing like the tracks coming down. Oh my God, dude.
What a nightmare. That must have sucked.
The cause of this disaster was primarily attributed to a failure in the ride safety systems. The incident occurred because the fail-safe mechanism designed to stop a second train when the first one stalled was either malfunctioning or not properly implemented. I feel like there should just be a giant red button in these situations,
Yeah.
But like you just slam it with your fist and then everything just shuts down or something.
Well, the people operating it probably didn't know, right?
Like,
until
it
was too
is
late.
the 80s, so yeah, they probably
Yeah.
didn't have the technology to figure out whether or not something's happened. Furthermore, the ride operators failed to react. Oh, we just got our question answered.
Yeah.
The ride's operators failed to react swiftly enough to stop the ride, exacerbating the situation. The aftermath of the incident led to significant changes in Alton Towers' operational procedures, including the installation of more advanced safety mechanisms and a more rigorous maintenance and inspection regimen for its rides.
It's kind of insane that the park was still like operational and people would still go there. You know what I mean? After
Yeah.
something like this. Like fuck that. I would never go to this place if I knew that this happened.
The Smiler, a highly popular and record-breaking roller coaster known for its 14 inversions, was involved in a catastrophic crash. On the day of the accident, the ride was operating with multiple cars, one of which became stuck on the track. This occurred in the part of the ride where riders go through a series of inversions.
Wait, what? Inversions. Does that mean they were upside down?
Yeah, I assume like loop-de-loops and like turns and like...
They were stuck on the track upside down?
Yeah, it does say it occurred at the part where riders were through. So maybe they were stuck upside down.
That would be horrible.
That'd be awful. Oh my God. But as a result of the stoppage, the ride's control system should have automatically stopped any subsequent trains from moving forward to avoid the collision. Literally just deja vu of the previous one.
I know, what?
However, due to a series of failures in both mechanical systems and human error, a second train, which had been in motion, so it's the same fucking, wait, it's the same thing, but it was in 2015. Holy shit.
By 2015, you'd assume like there would be some sort of like failsafe put in place so stuff like this wouldn't happen, like couldn't happen, you know?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it's almost hard to like blame human error because you probably become insanely complacent with that, you know, like which is, yeah, next, press the button, go, all right, next. And you do that for fucking, 8 hours a day for years. Nothing ever happens. So like on the off day that something actually happens.
I'm just saying like within the coaster itself, right? That people wouldn't even have to manage.
I'm assuming we'll get that question answered about a failsafe. I feel like.
Nah, who knows? I don't build roller coasters.
Yeah. I played Roller Coaster Tycoon a few times, so I mean, I basically know what I'm talking about.
If I were in charge, this would never happen.
This would never happen. I build roller coasters where people fly into the air and die, but this would never happen. The collision resulted in 16 people being injured, 5 of whom were seriously injured. 2 passengers, Vicky Balch and Leigh Washington, were critically injured. Vicky lost her left leg, and Leigh Washington also suffered life-changing injuries. The crash led to an immediate and prolonged closure of the Smiler ride, and the park faced significant scrutiny over safety measures. Oh, God. I mean, at least she didn't die.
Christ.
But
I mean, that doesn't seem like to be as bad as the previous one, but I mean, maybe the crash just wasn't as fast.
Or like it was built sturdier, I guess.
Have you ever seen those videos? Like the fake videos of rides like just crumbling and like a full car just like being detached from like the skeleton of the ride and it goes flying with like 30 people in it. It's obviously fake, but then you see all these boomers in the comments like, holy shit,
what this happened? Wait, what? It's like an AI voice underneath it. It's like, this happened yesterday. 30 people were launched. God. The investigation found that the automatic failsafe system designed to prevent collisions had not worked as intended. Wow, this seems eerily similar to the 1984 incident. The ride's braking system failed to stop the second train from entering the area where the first train was stuck. The incident also involved human error. The park staff did not follow proper procedures when a previous train became stuck on the track. Oh, so there was like already warning that the shit ain't working.
Wow, that's like a perfect storm of shit then, you know?
Yeah.
Like, not only did the failsafe fail, It was the people weren't paying attention.
Ride operators failed to halt the ride in a timely manner, which allowed the second train to move forward into the danger zone. The design and maintenance of the ride were scrutinized as well. The Smiler's complex ride system with its multiple inversions and high-speed elements was found to have significant design flaws that contributed to the accident. Furthermore, the maintenance checks were deemed insufficient in identifying and addressing critical issues that led to the collision. A woman who lost her leg in the Alton Towers roller coaster crash in 2015 has received a multi-million-pound payment for the incident. Okay, that's good. You know, she lost her leg, but you know, at least she's rich now.
It's something.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the medical bills were probably that much.
Why are people still going to Alton Towers? Like, what the hell?
Well, I mean, dude, it was 1984 and 2015. So 2 accidents in that long. So, I mean,
one is enough.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
one is bad
yeah.
enough. Yeah.
With a roller coaster, 1 is enough. I'm good.
Yeah.
Vicky says she has endured a wretched 4 years after the car she was riding in struck an empty carriage stranded on the track of the Smiler ride.
God damn. Yeah, that sounds horrible. You see, all of this stuff is just proof. Like, I don't like roller coasters most of the time. The coasters that have a lot of like drops, because I hate that feeling you get in your stomach when you drop.
Yeah.
So, like, but my wife loves that shit. But at the same time, she's the one that's paranoid about coasters like breaking down randomly, and I'm not. It's just weird. And
she and dude, I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't like the stomach drop feeling.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the same boat of that, but I do like roller coasters at the same time. But Amy doesn't like roller coasters. I don't know if she likes the stomach drop. I didn't ask her. Maybe she's the same.
It's just funny now because like if I showed this video to my wife, then I'd be like, see, we should never go on them. They're all dangerous.
True.
And then I'll never have to be forced onto one that I hate ever again. But yeah, I'm the same way. I like the fast ones, but not the ones that plummet 1,000 feet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? On the 25th of October 2016, a malfunction of the Thunder River Rapids ride resulted in the deaths of 4 people. This is regarded as the worst accident at an Australian theme park since the 1979 Sydney Ghost Train fire at Luna Park, Sydney. I wonder what happened there. Anyway.
Yeah, hold up. Wait a second. We'll worry about that another time.
This one's more recent, so it's crazier. Due to the failure of one of the 2 large water pumps essential for the ride's operation, the water level in the ride dropped quickly, causing a raft, which was occupied by 6 guests, to become stranded on support rails near the end of the raft conveyor and unable to reach the unloading area. Approximately 1 minute later, another raft carrying 6 passengers moved down the conveyor and collided with the first stranded raft. Both rafts pivoted upwards, driven by movement of the conveyor, before the first raft fell back to a level position resting on support rails. The second raft was further moved by the conveyor into a vertical position and subsequently caused passengers to either fall out of the raft or become trapped in close proximity to the conveyor mechanism, leading to fatal injuries for 4 passengers. Oi, oi, oi.
Yeah.
So it goes down here, it becomes lodged here. Yeah, the whole thing kind of like flipped forward.
Yeah.
And the people fell out.
Yeah, 2 of them were completely trapped underneath the raft, and then 2 were trapped under the conveyor belt, which the conveyor belt was still moving. So you could imagine the horrible shit that they went through.
They don't have seatbelts or anything on this thing?
Yeah, I don't think you have seatbelts on the river stuff. Cause it's just like a lazy, like it's not like a
yeah, I know, yeah,
just like a floaty thing.
But still, you'd think there'd be like some kind of rules in place for rides in general that you have to be like strapped in some sort of way.
Well, maybe this is what changed that. Maybe this is what changed them having seatbelts
in 2016.
I don't know.
The other 2 passengers, both children, were able to climb out of the raft, still in its vertical orientation, to nearby platforms once the conveyor had been shut down by ride staff. Draining the river, over 7 paramedic crews responded to the 000 call along with firefighters and police. The recovery of the bodies went on into the early hours of the next morning, with some paramedics requiring counseling due to the trauma of the scene. What, were they like ground into like paste or something?
Yeah. I mean, the conveyor belt was still moving. when
My
all this was
God.
happening. So, and if paramedics required counseling, like,
Holy
ugh.
shit.
Bleh.
They had to like fish like arms and legs out of this thing.
Probably into the early hours of the next morning. So it was like an entire day job to get all of their body out of that.
That is such a nightmare.
Yeah.
Was this like a family?
You know, normally like you have multiple friends or family sitting on the raft together.
And not all of them died?
Nope. I mean, the kids got out, so I don't know if like
Oh yeah.
the kids were like if the parents got trapped and the kids were the ones that got out.
That's like something straight out of a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like Final Fantasy, not Final Fantasy, Final Destination type shit right there.
Final Fantasy. Yeah, I know. It's insane. It reminds me of like the origins of Dexter or something. Shine Lawyers is representing safety officers Shane Green, John Clark, and Rebecca Ramsey, and engineer Paul Burke, who have all left Dreamworld and are all involved in ongoing counseling.
Oh, God.
The 3 safety officers were part of Dreamworld's medical team and were called as soon as the ride flipped, crushing the 4 victims between the wooden conveyor belt and the raft. I can't even imagine what it, like...
Because, I mean, like, not only the people dying horribly, but, like, being a spectator and you can't do anything. Because you can't just dive in there and grab them.
Those poor kids.
I know.
They're scarred forever. Like, this is insane. Anyway, nobody should ever have to see what they were confronted with when they entered that trench, Miss Ibrahim said. Who's Miss Ibrahim?
I had probably a worker there or someone who saw what happened.
There's a article here from news.com that says Dreamworld first responders to sue theme park for psychological damage. That's how horrific the scene was.
Oh my, they sued him not only for, I mean, I assume they got sued for negligence, but also psychological damage from how fucking horrible that must have been. Jesus Christ.
In a statement to news.com.au, Shine Lawyer solicitor Tina Ibrahim said the 4 first responders' level of trauma is beyond anything I have ever seen. Nobody should ever have to see what they were confronted with when they entered that trench, she said. The victims' bodies were so badly disfigured from crush and compression injuries that these first 8 officers were completely helpless. There was nothing they could do.
Oh my God, dude.
Our clients, however, saw exactly what happened to the 4 bodies, and they have to live with those images for the rest of their lives. 3 of the 4 first responders will take the stand to testify at the inquest into the Dreamworld tragedy, something that's played heavily on their minds, Ms. Ibrahim said. The lead up to this week has been incredibly distressing. It's a date that has played on their minds for nearly 2 years, she said. One of the hardest memories for our clients to forget is the screams of the victims' family members who were right there wanting them to do more to save their loved ones. They so desperately wanted to do more, but the victims were gone.
Oh my God. That's so terrible, dude. Jesus Christ.
Going into this video, I thought we were gonna read a bunch of stuff about accidents where people were just killed immediately or just heavily injured.
Yeah, same. When I was researching, same. And then this is by far the worst one, I think. I've never heard of any like horrible situation like this before at an amusement park. Like, yeah, people died, but it's normally like dying on impact or like, you know, something like that. But this is just like brutal, horrific ways to die.
Like something you would expect to see in like a Saw movie or like a fucking, like you said, Final Destination or something. I cannot believe this actually happened. This is so horrific.
Dude, especially on a fucking like slow speed water raft ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
what
normally
the hell?
You expect like roller coasters or maybe like really tall water slides. This is just a little like float ride, basically.
I want to know how it happened. Like, wait, so it just like
the water pump wasn't working, so the water level got lower and lower. So like they hit a snag and they couldn't go forward because there was no water, but they didn't stop the conveyor belt moving the like the rafts.
they were on an incline and the people fell out?
Yeah, because if you look at the picture like that, the little incline, like that's where they were going down, and then they knocked into those people who were stuck, and then it flipped over.
Oh my God. The craziest thing about this is that those deaths would have been prevented if they just had seatbelts. Like that is the
Well, actually, the people down there, I don't think it would have mattered because like they were even if they were in their seats, they were still like underneath everything. I mean, maybe they would have.
it's hard to tell from just this picture, but
Yeah.
the details of an earlier collision between empty rafts on a Dreamworld ride on which 4 people would die in 2016 are set to be revealed at an inquest into the fatal incident. Stephen Buss was operating the Thunder River Rapids ride in 2014 when 2 rafts collided in similar fashion to the incident. Is this a new one?
No,
a different thing?
it's so the same dude, Stephen Baus, was like running it, but he also had a similar incident in 2014 where this happened, but no one died. So like they're blaming Stephen Buss because yeah,
this other one happened in 2 years later.
yeah.
So you think they would have done something to prevent it from happening in the future if it happened already?
You would think, but I guarantee they're probably like, it's whatever, it's a one-off thing, it won't happen again.
Stephen Buss was subsequently fired following an internal investigation by the Gold Coast theme park. Well, at least they fired the guy who was negligent. I mean, I don't know what good that would do, but
Yeah, I mean, they need to like figure
Just
out
fix the
some
fucking
fail safes. Yeah, just fix your fucking ride, dude.
that only the kids survived, right? And like, what kind of legal action would you take if you're, I don't know how old the kids are, but like, it's hard to imagine like a 12-year-old calling a lawyer.
But apparently, one of the men who died, Luke Dorset, the reason he died is because he stopped his niece from falling out of the raft, but he ended up dying alongside his sister, Kate Goodchild, because he jumped in to like save his niece from falling into the conveyor belt.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least he saved his niece. Like, that guy's a hero.
What a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst things I've ever heard about in my life. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
I've heard of, I mean, it's basically my streaming career to watch horrible things happen. And that's one of the worst things, dude, that I've heard in a while.
like, it's honestly worse than what happens in some of the worst like horror movies out there, you know?
Yeah, because it's real. It's like, you know, in horror movies, it's like, it's bad guy being bad guy most of the time. You know what I mean? It's like, they're evil people doing, you know, and it's like in a fictional setting. But, you know, this is just innocent people enjoying their time at an amusement park and dying horribly.
Unbelievable.
But moving on to something even more depressing.
Great.
Just keep bringing it on, you know, bring on the depression more and more. And this one, I feel like a lot of people are more familiar with. I'm familiar with this one because my family lives very close to this. One of the most devastating and high-profile tragedies in recent years occurred at the Schlitterbahn Water Park in Kansas City, USA on August 7, 2016, when a 10-year-old boy named Caleb Schwab was killed on the Verr&uuml water slide. Verr&uuml, which was once the world's tallest water slide, was promoted as a major attraction due to its record-breaking height and thrilling design. However, the slide's tragic failure would serve as a reminder of the critical importance of safety in amusement park rides. Verr&uuml, which actually means crazy in German, was a water slide that stood an impressive 168 feet tall, taller than the Statue of Liberty. At the time, it was the tallest water slide in the world, designed to send riders down a near vertical drop. The ride's steep incline and extreme height promised an adrenaline-pumping experience, and it quickly became a centerpiece of Schlitterbahn Water Park in Kansas City. Riders would sit in a large multi-person raft which would descend the slide's near vertical drop before careening up a small hill and then plunging down another sharp drop.
What could happen? Like who would ever think something bad would happen on a ride like that?
Like the ridiculous amount of negligence on this is insane. Because the dude who created this wasn't even like an engineer. Like he just wanted to break a record. That's it. He wanted to just have the tallest water slide. Like he cut so many corners. He didn't follow anybody's advice or any directions. He basically just threw it together and said, yeah, that's good. Just so he can get the tallest water slide.
Throughout my entire life, my family has always been like, you're such a little wimp, you know, whenever I didn't want to go on something like this at a water resort or,
Yeah.
well, I'm glad I never did.
Yeah. I could be that child.
People are just weird for liking this kind of thing,
It's the adrenaline.
Yeah, I like to imagine I'm about to die. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell, dude?
It's
it's
the possibility that you're gonna die that makes it thrilling, you know what I mean?
No. Like, what the hell? I don't get it. Like base jumpers and people who love like,
Dude,
I don't know,
the
jumping off of stuff.
ones that make the least sense are spelunkers or cave divers.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Everybody else, I could at least get it to an extent. Like, oh, it's adrenaline, right? You're an adrenaline junkie. But crawling in a hole the size of my hand is adrenaline? No, no. Doesn't check out.
I love all the memes of people who are like, oh, there's a little tiny
Yeah.
slit. I can fit.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Verr&uuml was unique in its design, which used a combination of steep descents and massive airtime moments where rafts. Yeah, airtime and water slides, great idea. That's what we need.
My God.
Massive,
so you're like floating in the air?
Yeah,
when you go down this thing?
I mean, you'll see how the kid died. I mean, it has to do with the massive airtime.
Wait, so they're like flinging you in the air. You're not just going down a slide, like.
Well, you're going down the slide, but once you go back up, it's basically a ramp.
Oh yeah, so.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
That's why I was mentioning how the dude wasn't an engineer, because he didn't like account for it actually becoming a ramp and launching people.
I need to see this thing in action. 1 sec.
Oh my God. Go to 7 seconds. Did you hear what the kid said?
What does he say?
I hope you live.
What?
Yeah, the little kid says, I hope you live to that guy. This was before the accident too. Yeah, you have to skip to the end to actually see them go down.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And it launches them here? Oh, wait.
Well, you just get airtime. Like, the reason they didn't get launched here is because of the weight distribution was correct.
I see.
But the weight distribution whenever the kid was on it was not correct.
Hey, at least there's a little net there to catch them if they go flying out. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, about the net.
No, I know. I'm kind of mocking it.
Okay, I was about to say, yeah. Do you know what happened to the kid?
No, I haven't heard about this.
He got decapitated because of the net.
Because of the net?
Because he launched in the air from the speed and the net,
Wait, he wasn't being held down by anything?
The raft flew up in the air.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And they didn't think that was a possibility when they made this thing?
No, because he didn't take into account any of that.
Holy shit. So it is that's so crazy that I called out the net being ridiculous.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if you were being ironic or not, because yeah, that's what it is.
Holy shit.
It uses a combination of steep descents and massive airtime movements where rafts could potentially lift off the slide due to the high speeds. Unfortunately, this is the very aspect of the ride's design, its sheer height and sharp angles, which would prove to be one of the key contributors to the fatal accident that took place. On the day of the tragedy, Caleb Schwab, a 10-year-old boy from Kansas City, was riding the Verr&uuml with 2 passengers. The ride had already experienced some issues prior to that day, but it remained open to the public. As the raft descended the slide's vertical drop, it went airborne at high speed, causing it to hit a metal support pole located near the middle of the slide. The collision threw Caleb from the raft, and he was fatally struck by the pole. Despite immediate efforts to save him, Caleb was found unresponsive at the base of the slide. It was later pronounced dead at the hospital.
Wait, pole?
I didn't hear about a pole.
Oh, so he hit the pole,
so it was
little poles in between
the metal support. Yeah. Oh yeah, because if you look at the video, it's those metal poles.
Yeah, it's in between that's holding the net in place.
God, that's fucking terrifying.
That's even crazier that they put these little metal things above the people's heads.
Yeah, the fact that dude? They know it has airtime and the net is so close to the raft and to their heads is crazy.
Like, it would honestly be safer without this net being there at all,
Yeah, and just like making the slide either wider or like have the sides go up a little bit more or something. Like, There are loads of things they could have done. Caleb was found unresponsive at the base of the slide and was later pronounced dead at the hospital. Caleb's tragic death was not only heart-wrenching for his family, but also raised significant concerns about the Verr&uuml water slide and other extreme amusement park attractions. While there were no immediate fatalities on the previous rides, the incident highlighted severe flaws in both the ride's design and its operational safety protocols. Following the accident, a detailed investigation was launched by authorities to determine the exact cause of the tragedy. The findings pointed to multiple critical failures in design, operation, and safety measures of the ride. Verr&uuml's design was ambitious, but it ultimately proved to be unsafe. The combination of a steep, nearly vertical drop followed by a sudden change of direction made the raft highly unstable. During the descent, the raft experienced extreme forces that caused it to become airborne, particularly when riders hit the transition between the steep drops and flatter areas. This instability was exacerbated by the slide's steep incline, which caused rafts to gain excessive speed and lift off the track. In an environment where rafts can become airborne, riders are at serious risk of being thrown off the ride, as well as the case with Caleb.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when when you were describing the ride. Like most water plunging rides like this, they have one or two drops, but they never go back up. And if they do go back up, it's like a very slow, like king, like one of those things.
Yeah.
Where you normally go slowly back up to drop again.
Because I feel like water rides, you need way more safety because they're a lot less. You don't have to wear seatbelts. It's not like on a track. It's, you know, like that's why I feel like there should be way more serious about water rides.
I can kind of see why this one was popular prior to the accident though, because it's like so unlike anything else. It's like
that's what
pretty wild.
The creator was going for, is just making it as big as possible, and that's it.
Yeah, he was like, well, fuck safety. I'm just gonna put a fucking net there.
Yeah.
What an idiot.
Unlike traditional roller coasters or rides, water slides like Verr&uuml often use minimal safety restraints. The Verr&uuml ride used only seatbelts to secure passengers in the rafts, which were inadequate for such an extreme ride. The lack of more secure harnesses or restraint systems contributed to the danger posed to the riders, particularly in cases where the rafts went airborne and lost contact with the slide. This insufficient restraint system was a key factor in the accident. Schlitterbahn's management and ride operators also failed to address prior safety concerns. Previous incidents, including reports of rafts becoming airborne, should have triggered a more thorough evaluation of the ride design. However, these issues were either ignored or not taken seriously enough by the park management, probably because they were making money. Like, we're attracting a big audience. No, we keep it. I actually found someone who worked at the Schlitterbahn. I used to be a lifeguard at this Schlitterbahn. They built the slide my last year there, and we all fucking knew it was a death trap. They offered the teenage lifeguards first crack at it, and every single one of us declined. They knew it was a death trap too. So I know people that were working and witnessed it. Some places report that he was internally decapitated, but in fact, it was externally. His head, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
What?
Slow down. Trigger warning. Wow. All right. His head hit a few people behind him and broke someone's nose and another person's jaw. His brother witnessed it from the bottom.
What?
That's horrific. Oh my God. I didn't read this when I clipped it. I want to clarify that. I did not read this beforehand.
Good Lord, dude. You're telling me about shit that like is gonna keep me up for a week.
Dude, I already knew about this one, but I didn't know about that. All right. Like,
my God.
Wow.
What a nightmare.
I distinctly remember my supervisor shooting the shit with me while I was on the lazy river rotation, telling me that his boss told him that the rafts on the computer simulation kept flying off the slide, like nothing they could do was fixing the problem after trying for months. He told me the owners basically didn't give a shit and were gonna build it anyways. The KC location was about to go under and they just needed to be able to say that they had the tallest, like I said, they just wanted the tallest water slide in the world, even if it was a death trap. Those pieces of shit knew that someone would die eventually. They just didn't care. I love roller coasters and thriller rides, but you couldn't have paid me to go on that thing. In fact, I was one of the first people they offered to let ride it, so I guess I would have literally been paid to go on it. Nope, even as a dumb 17-year-old who thought they were invincible, I knew how horrifically dangerous it was.
I mean, I think there's probably a way that they could make this safe.
Well, yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like this person said in that post, is they just didn't care. Like, they could have done things to prevent this. They could have made the tallest water slide safer, but there's like, fuck it. We already built it. Like, whatever.
Yeah, I guess they didn't want to sink the additional cost in that would make it safe. You
Yeah.
know? And they were just kind of like hoping that nothing bad would ever happen. Oh my god, fuck those guys. All right, so we have one more for you guys. I hope this is not as bad as the
Yeah,
other.
I hope everyone didn't just leave. And it's just like
That no
like,
one's watching at this
they're
point.
they're all crying into their pillow right now.
All right, so this next one happened at the Kings Island Amusement Park, and it opened in Ohio in 1972. There were no fatalities at the park in its first 19 years of operation, but luck ran out on Sunday, June 9th, 1991, when death claimed 3 people, 2 guests and 1 employee, in 2 separate incidents at the park.
Oh yeah, this one actually doesn't even have to do with a ride.
Oh,
Yeah,
how's that work?
you'll see.
I guess I'll find out. Everything was normal until about 9 p.m. when a park guest, Timothy Benning, and his friend William Haithcote walked by a fountain near a bridge in the park's beer garden. Benning reached towards the water in a fountain, intending to splash his friend. But as soon as he touched the water, Benning was jolted with a powerful electrical current, knocked unconscious, and fell into the shallow water. An exposed wire was just under the surface.
So
How did that happen?
I don't know. I don't know how a loose wire would end up in a fountain and just one-shot someone.
Is there electricity in there to, I don't know, were there lights in the fountain or something?
I'm assuming it's probably like there was lights in there and there was like a loose wire or something.
Haithcote jumped into the water to help his friend and was electrocuted as well. Probably not the best idea.
Well, I mean, like if you just see your friend just like touch water and then just fall in the water, like you don't really see the electrocution.
Yeah. You might not have known exactly what happened and just thought he had like a seizure or something.
Yeah.
Seeing the guests in distress in the shallow pond, park employee Daryl Robertson tried to help, but some good deeds are punished severely, especially at janky theme parks. And Robertson was electrocuted as well. The 2 good Samaritans died shortly after, while Benning survived with serious electrocution injuries.
Wait, Benning was the first one to get electrocuted. So
And
the
he
2
survived?
people who just tried to be heroes and save his life died, and Benning didn't even die.
How does that work?
I don't know. I mean, I guess some people just can handle electrocution better. I don't know.
Well, maybe because he reached out to touch the water and was electrocuted first, and then the rest of his body went in, and the other 2 jumped in entirely.
Well, if he's
I don't know.
completely in the water, he'd be getting consistently electrocuted.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's probably just luck then. A subsequent investigation revealed it all could have been prevented if a simple circuit breaker had been installed on the electrical pumps under the pond. Oh, it was an electrical pump.
How do you not? And what? Like when you have something that has electrical and water and you don't install a circuit breaker for that?
Yeah, whoever they hired as an electrician for this place.
Yeah, what the fuck?
He should be sued or something. The merriment at the park continued, however, and about an hour later, Candy Taylor, age 32, decided to take just one more ride before the park closed. She chose the Flight Commander, a harmless seeming ride that lifts riders off the ground in capsules that spin around. Taylor had been drinking and was alone in her compartment, so no one knows exactly how or why she slipped off from her harness and safety belt and out of the pod, but she may have been trying to get a look at the medical helicopters ferrying electrocution victim Timothy Benning to a hospital. No matter the reason, Taylor fell from the ride to the ground 70 feet below and died soon after.
Yeah,
Wait, so it just so happened that another person died that same day from something different?
Completely unrelated to the electrocution pond.
What are the odds of that happening?
Yeah, I know. The fact that they're saying that it's potentially because she was trying to get a look at the medical helicopters is so ironic.
Jesus Christ.
So 2 heroes died trying to save someone. And then the victim
who survived.
Yeah. And then a random drunk lady just fell out of a spinny ride.
I wonder how, like, who was the person that found the 3 people in there and was like, you know what, I'm not going to touch the water, and did something else to turn it off, and then, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I wonder who finally saved that or Benning at the end there.
Yeah, because I mean, they had to have put 2 and 2 together of what's going on and then go figure out how to shut things off. So they're probably sitting in the water for a good while before they got help.
I'm surprised it didn't end up being like 10 people in that thing. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
just
like,
more and more people just diving in to save him and they keep dying or something.
Yeah, some smart person realized what happened.
Yeah.
Oh, so apparently Taylor had a blood alcohol level that was 3 times over the legal limit.
God damn, yeah, she was plastered. I mean, I guess like she passed out on the ride, but I don't know how she would get out of her restraints.
So apparently Robertson died by drowning, not electrocution.
Oh, really?
So Benning didn't die from drowning or electrocution.
Maybe he wasn't face first or something.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't like fully submerged. Someone up there's looking after him.
Yeah, for real. Dude, how bad must you feel to be Benning? Like being the one to get electrocuted and then like two people try to help you, they both die and you still survive. Like, I mean, obviously you can't really control it, but like I'm sure like the survivor's guilt has got to be strong.
What a crazy scenario, you know?
God, I know.
You can't really blame these people for trying to save
them.
They had no idea what was
like
happening.
they're heroes for attempting to do that, not knowing what's going on.
Oh boy.
Well, that was fun. Right, guys? Everyone feel better? Everyone enjoying their day after this?
I guess the lesson here, if you've learned anything, was you should always be a little bit cautious, especially if you're at like a theme park that isn't like Disney or Universal, like one of those lower end ones. Like keep your wits about you and question things. Don't just ride whatever just because it looks cool.
Like if there's a new ride that comes out and they call it the fastest, the tallest.
Oh yeah.
Maybe wait like a year. And then try it out.
Yeah, for sure. Or just don't.
Yeah,
Just don't go on it,
or just not. Just stay inside, live. There's that.
Like unless there's like billions of dollars behind them, like in a Disney theme park, where
that's different. Yeah,
like they cannot afford to get sued, because that would be huge. But yeah, unless you're going to like one of those massive theme parks, you should definitely question everything. There's this theme park near me when I was growing up called Canopy Lake Park. There's a super old roller coaster named the Cannonball. It was just like tons of dips and just constantly it goes ups and down, up and down, up and down. And it's like built on wood and that's it. And it's so rickety sound. I never went on it. But somehow there was never any accidents on the thing. But it's just like,
dude, also there's like, for example, like Holiday World in Indiana, there's one called the Raven, and it's just like a wooden ride. And I think there's another one called the Legend. And dude, wooden rides, who even enjoys those? Like your brain is just getting rattled around. Like they're not fun. Like they're not smooth. Like you're just shaking the whole fucking time. It's the worst. It's painful. Maybe it's because I'm getting older, but it is painful.
Yeah, I know. I hate that one. It's like, especially if you've eaten something right beforehand.
Oh,
it's like
God, yeah.
Jostling your whole body, You feel like you're going to puke when you're in the middle of it. It's horrible.
Well, I hope I made your guys' day better with this.
Yes. Go out and enjoy some theme park rides after watching this.
Yeah, go to your local theme park and enjoy some rides, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.